Lesson 1-4, subtract integers. So in this lesson, we're going to show how you can subtract integers with models, whether it's with tiles or on a number line. And then we're going to subtract integers with like and unlike signs without a picture. So first, the concept here is we have an additive inverse. The additive inverse just means you're adding the opposite of a number. And anytime you see the word opposite, think negative or a minus sign. Minus just means the opposite of. So down below here, you can see I have some pictures here. So we're going to subtract an integer by adding its opposite. So if I have a positive minus a positive, if I add the opposites, I add the opposite of a positive is a negative. So now we have a positive plus a negative. And you might ask, why are we changing a minus sign to a plus sign? Well, a lot of times it's easier for people to add than it is to subtract, even though if the signs are different, you technically are subtracting. So the second one here, we have positive minus a negative. So I got to change the subtraction to a positive, so I'm adding the opposite. The opposite of a negative is a positive. Next, I have a negative minus a positive. So that's going to be changed to a negative plus the opposite of a positive is a negative. Therefore, I'm going to have two negatives added together, gives going to give me another negative number. And if I have a negative minus a negative, it would be a negative plus the opposite of a negative is a positive. So again, that's going to make it more sense once you see some examples here. So example 1, Alyssa and Heather are playing a board game they made up. A player who lands on blue adds -4 to her score. A player who lands on white subtracts -4 from her score. Alyssa adds or lands on white. If her score was -9, what is her new score? So if you look at the tiles down here, one black box equals a -1. So on the left side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have -9. And then we're going to subtract. And because she landed on white, we have to subtract a -4. So if I subtract a -4 here, we're going to do the adding the opposites. So this would be a plus, and the opposite of a -4 is a +4. So really I have -9 plus 4. And since the signs are different, all I'm going to do is subtract them, which 9 minus 4 is 5. But 9 is bigger than 4, so I use the sign on 9, which is a negative. So my answer would be -5. Now if I do it on a number line, here we're at -9, so let's say this is 0. If I go to -9, so this will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is -9 here. And if I'm adding, or if I'm subtracting a -4, I'm really adding 4. So if I go 4 backwards, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm left with this one right here, which is at -5. Simple problems A. We're going to find the difference with the same sign. So I have a 12 minus 15. So now think of this as 12 plus a -15 because I'm just adding the opposites. So if I add the opposite of 15 is -15. So since the signs are different, I subtract them. So 15 minus 12 is 3. And since 15 is bigger than 12, I take the sign on 15, which is negative. So the answer would be -3. Next, I have -7 minus a -12. So that means I'm going to be adding the opposite of a -12 is a +12. Now, since the signs are different now, I subtract it. 12 minus 7 is 5. 12 is bigger than 7, and 12 is positive, so my answer is positive. Next, I have negative 5. If I add the opposites, I add, and the opposite of negative 8 is a positive 8. The signs are different, so that means I have 8 minus 5, which is 3. 8 is bigger than 5. 8 is positive, so my answer is positive. And our last one, we got 6 minus, so I'm going to change that to an addition, so that's plus. The absolute value of 15 is 15, so that means the opposite of 15 is a negative 15. Since the signs are different, I subtract them, so 15 minus 6 is 9. 15 is bigger than 9, so 15 has a negative, so my answer has to have a negative. Now again, if you want to check with your calculator, just grab our calculator here, and we'll show this last one here. Actually, I'll show the third one. So if I did negative 5 minus a negative 8, that gives us a positive 3, which is what we had in our answer. Now, if you do it on your calculator, you don't see what's actually happening that you see on the screen here, but the calculator does all that in the background. But just so you know, you can always use your calculator to verify your answer. Next, here we're going to do that with unlike signs, so subtract with unlike signs. So this first one, it says 5 minus a negative 2. So we're going to add those, so add the opposite. So this is really saying 5 plus the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, which should give us 7. So here, I would have a positive 5 minus a negative 2. I'm really adding the opposite, so 5 plus 2 is 7. Now to show it on here, if this is 0, I go 5 to, let me change that up. If this was 0, go 5 to the right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have to go 2 more, 1, 2. This would be our answer, which is at 7. Sample problems B. Find the difference of integers with unlike signs. Now again, you can still add the opposites. That might make it a little bit easier for you. So here, this is going to be a negative 3 plus the opposite of 2 is negative 2. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is a negative 5. This next one, 10 minus a negative 3. So if I see a minus and negative, I'm really adding. So 10 plus 3 is 13. Here I have the absolute value, so I solve inside here. So 6 minus a negative 4, a minus and negative means I'm adding. So this is 10. The absolute value of 10 is 10, but there's a negative on the outside, so this is going to be a negative 10. Next one, we got a negative absolute value of negative 5. So that negative absolute value of negative 5 is 5, but we have this negative here. Minus 3, so I'm going to do plus. The opposite of 3 is negative 3. So a negative 5 plus a negative 3 is negative 8. Next, absolute value of 10 is 10, but I have a negative on the outside, so that makes a negative 10. Minus, I'm going to change that to plus to do the additive inverse. Absolute value of 6 is 6, but because I have to do the opposite of 6, that would be negative 6. So negative 10 plus a negative 6 is negative 16. Next one, we got absolute value of 12 is 12. Put a minus in front because we have a negative there. Plus the opposite of the absolute value of negative 22, which is 22. So the opposite of 22 is negative 22. Add them together gives you a negative 34. Then we have negative 8 minus 10. So if I add the opposite, that's going to give us a negative 18. Absolute value of negative 18 is 18. Next, 5 plus a negative 8 gives us, the signs are different. So I subtract it. 8 minus 5 is 3. Take 8 is bigger than 5, so we go with the sign in front of the 8, which is a negative, so it would be negative 3. This one, the absolute value of negative 16 is 16, plus the opposite of a negative 9 is a positive 9. And so I have 16 plus 9, which is 25. So that's our lesson on subtracting integers.